And during the snowstorm this week, Windsor police recorded 80 weather-related crashes. One collision was a hit and run that injured a pedestrian on Edinburgh Street near Howard Avenue. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police are urging drivers to slow down in winter conditions. An important reminder, police and emergency crews are working on those slippery streets and highways, and drivers are being charged for failing to slow down and move over when they see flashing lights. CTV's Sanjay Maru joins us with this to kind of explain and elaborate on the move over law, which has been around for quite a time.
Yeah, that's right, Stephanie. A police officer I spoke with today, he tells me that many drivers he runs into to confront about this law, they're still unaware that it even exists, despite the fact it's been in place since the early 2000s. But ignorance of the law, he says, is not an excuse. You will still face repercussions, as one local driver found out last night. On another day of snow blanketing the region, it's not unusual to see emergency or service vehicles flashing their lights along the roadside. And it's a reminder that under Ontario law, drivers are required to slow down and, when it's safe to do so, move over, leaving a full lane as a buffer for those working on the shoulder.
It's pretty frustrating. We're constantly looking over our shoulder. Sometimes we turn around and that should be the very moment where that's it. Put the phones down, move over. That way we can all get home to our families.
That nearly didn't happen for an OPP officer who escaped with minor injuries Friday morning after a vehicle rear-ended his cruiser on Highway 401 in Pickering as he was assisting a tow truck with a broken-down car. Police say the collision underscores the potentially deadly risk when drivers fail to move over for stopped emergency vehicles. This after two Ontario tow truck operators were killed late last year in separate roadside collisions in the same month. One on the 401 south of Kitchener and another in Wellington County. And just this week, a 42-year-old Windsor man failed to move over when passing an OPP officer at a collision on the 401 in Lakeshore, resulting in multiple charges.
I think it's inattentiveness and unaware of the law. I've written many of these charges, and most of them were unaware of it. The driver's responsibility to be aware of the laws, right? Ignorance is not an excuse under the law.
A paralegal we spoke with says he typically sees an average of 10 move-over violations come through his office each year. That's because in many cases, officers are already tied up with another traffic stop and cannot safely pursue additional violations. But when wild weather starts to pick up, so too does the possibility of enforcement.
I'm on the 401 daily. There was a tow truck assisting the vehicle that apparently was involved in the collision. There were 2 or 3 OPP cars there running block for the tow truck because of the road conditions and everything. So they've got cars available to go after them.
When we're on the side of the road, we're inches away from being exposed to a vehicle hitting us.
And Constable Bowmaster of the OPP you saw there, he tells me since 1989, 5 OPP officers have been killed in the line of duty on the roadside when they and or their vehicles were hit by approaching vehicles. Just another example, Stephanie, of how crucial it is to leave that gap and move over into that next lane.
Yeah, that is so tragic because police officers are there to keep us safe, even in incidences like this, and to put them at risk. Horrible.
Yeah, and on top of the inattentive driving, distracted driving concerns that we're here that continue to plague the roadways, and then you add in this, so a dangerous time, especially with the snowfall again. So a lot to look out for.
Okay, Sanjay Maru, thank you for this.